relations back into our daily life. So we don't need anybody else to tell us what we should be doing, how we should be living. We can access our authentic self directly and get our guidance. So I was working with a woman with the Journey of Life game, and I started calling that part in the unseen realm that is above the authentic self the one in charge. So the one in charge is the one in charge. And the one in charge gives its messages to our authentic self. And if we're paying attention, we can get those messages and we can be directed in our decisions and our actions, and our life goes more smoothly. Making a difference in the world with my intelligence, my creativity, and my heart that helps me make my choices. When my kids were growing up, I realized that my job as a parent was to encourage their intelligence and their creativity. And they are very creative people now in their 50s. So recently I was thinking about that, and I thought, that's how we make a difference in the world, with our intelligence, our creativity, and being in our heart. Another way that we assist in creating the new world that is coming, that is upon us now, is by telling a new story. David Corton, in his book, The Great Turning, says, change the story and you change the future. So I create a new story about how life can be on earth, and I sing it into being. The songs that I share with you are my own songs. Songs fly around in the air. I just open my mouth and allow them to sing through me. The same way I play the harp. I place my fingers on the strings and allow whatever wants to come through at that time. So being fully in our body, here and now. Being fully present and available for those around us. Now, we can be present and not available. So it occurred to me a while back that being present and available is the greatest gift we can give to those around us. Recognizing that I am a steward of the earth's energy and resources. I use them wisely. I take only what I need. I honor and support life in its myriad forms. Unfortunately, some of my neighbors don't agree with my allowing my plants to grow there. So recently I had to mow the lawn. If I have to mow the lawn once every 5 years, okay. But I really honor the plants that my grandfather put there some 80 and 90 years ago, plants that I've put there, and all the rest of the plants that God put there, or the one in charge, that give me the most trouble. I have alfalfa, I have lamb's quarters, I have purslane, I have violets, leaves and flowers you can eat, rose of Sharon, and dandelions I have to get from my neighbors. I don't know why dandelions don't like living in my yard, but I have to get my dandelion leaves from my neighbors. But there are lots of plants that I just take from my yard, and alfalfa. So that's how I eat. Bruce Lipton said, our perception influences our beliefs, which influences our behavior, which influences our reality. I go one step further and say behind it all, our perspective influences our perception, influences our beliefs, our behavior, and our reality. So another way I say it is, where I stand influences what I see, which influences what I know to be true, which influences my decisions and actions, which influences what shows up in my life. So if we want to change something, we go all the way back to perception, perspective, and that's what we change. The very beginning of our gatherings, I called From an Eagle's Perspective. Little Mouse and Eagle. Little Mouse was scurrying around in the field one day, looking for food and fearing danger. That was his life. And sure enough, a shadow came over Little Mouse, and the eagle reached down and picked up Little Mouse and lifted him up into the air. Oh, Little Mouse was shivering with fright until he looked around. Oh my goodness, he didn't know that the world was so big. He didn't know that there were lakes and rivers, forests and mountains. And then Little Mouse was shivering with excitement. Oh, if only he could go back and tell his other mice how big the world is. An eagle perceived what Little Mouse wanted to do. An eagle perceived that it was good. And instead of taking Little Mouse up on the rocky cliff to feed her babies, she left Little Mouse right in the field where she had found him. Little Mouse scurried around to find his friends and his family, and he said, "Oh, the world is so big. There are mountains and forests. There are lakes and rivers. You're crazy. Can't be so." And Little Mouse was so dejected and so disappointed that they couldn't see what he had seen. And so Little Mouse went back to his business of looking for food and fearing danger and trying to forget the vision that he had seen. I invite you to place your hands beside your eyes and pretend that you're down in the field and you are a mouse. How far can a mouse see? How big is a mouse's world? How does a mouse feel? Now I invite you to spread your wings and become an eagle. How far can an eagle see? How big is an eagle's world? How does an eagle feel? I invite you to see life and the world from an eagle's perspective. On this small planet, third from our sun, in this tiny solar system, way over in one corner of the Milky Way galaxy, we think that our Earth is all there is. But from a universal perspective, from an eagle's perspective, from a cosmic perspective, there's a whole lot more going on. And so, Earth spirituality is not just being grounded to the earth and being fully in our bodies. It's remembering the great beyond that calls us to dream bigger than we have ever dared to dream. The shiny light beings. Once upon a time, in the not-so-distant future, there lived a people upon the planet Earth who began to remember who they are, beings of light. It had been a long and painful journey, their remembering. There'd been much suffering and darkness in their forgetting. There had been those who tried to awaken them into the light, but they were stubborn, knowing how things are and how they should be. They clung to the way it had always been, and they kept their heads bent low, looking for the lost penny. Slowly, slowly, their eyes began to rise until they gazed directly into the light and saw themselves reflected there to their amazement. They saw themselves as the shiny light beings they had always been. As they looked around, they saw others begin to glow as they awakened. They began to sing and dance in celebration. They began to paint and write poetry to express their inner being. They began to speak their truth honestly and forthrightly from their heart. And to their amazement, they were heard. And they heard what others were saying. And they appreciated their creative expression. Why, there was more laughter and song filling the trees and joining the birds' songs. Fear, anger, doubt were forgotten as a new day dawned on the shiny light beings who were being love, living peace, and expressing joy. And so it was, and so it is. I walk in balance and harmony. I live gently upon the earth, for she is our mother who gives us all we need. I treat her with gentleness and respect. I feel the earth beneath my feet as I walk. I lift my eyes to the heavens and give thanks for my blessings. I embrace my brothers and sisters in love all around the world. For we are all one family upon the earth. We are all one family upon this earth. Come together, all you people. Come together. Come and share, all you people. Come and share. No more fighting, no more war, no more quarreling. What are we living for? Peace on earth, love and peace. Peace on earth, love and peace. So are there any comments or questions as we continue this discussion?
I just want to comment that you're an excellent storyteller.
Thank you so much. Yes. What do you want to say?
You have great stories.
Thank you.
Could you tell us a little bit about your material, such as your books and other pieces that you put together?
The books are on the back table, and the first one that I wrote was in 1981 when I lived in Puerto Rico, and it was called The Handbook for Cleansing and Rejuvenating the Body for Health. And that's exactly what it was about. In '89, I revised and updated it and called it The Energy Efficient Way to Health. In 2009, I revised and updated it and called it The Energy Efficient Way of Health. So those books are $10. They have all the original information and some new recipes and things that I do. The next book was The South Pacific Adventure, about a teeny tiny time in the time that I was in the South Pacific, sailing on a 36-foot sailboat from Tahiti to Samoa. That was a year. You can say it in so few words, and it's so full of experiences. The next book was called Being a Clear Channel for Love, Light, and Joy. I finished that in December of '99, and I was using a printer in San Antonio at that time for those first 3 books. And so I got it in February of 2000, and a lot of what I'm talking about now was already written in that book 15 years ago. So that one is $10. The South Pacific Adventure is $20. It's a hardback picture book, but it has a CD in it. And it has, the CD is my songs